So Ark Extinction was just released under a week ago, and there are so many mistakes that all these new players and noobs are making in the game at the moment. So today I'm going to be going over all the biggest mistakes that noobs make in Ark Survival, and maybe it'll help some of you guys make sure that you don't make the same mistakes while playing in Extinction. Spawning in the Wastelands. So spawning in the Wastelands is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of people making. So instead of spawning in an easier region or one of the recommended regions, they decide to spawn or travel to the Wastelands to start grinding and building up. Let me tell you guys, it is probably the worst idea that you're ever going to make, because in the Wastelands there are corrupted dinos, there are so many dangerous things. You guys already know about them, most of you guys know about them, and the corrupted dinos, they can break everything including tech. They're very powerful, and they're very aggressive. Even dilphosaurs that are corrupted will attack you. So let me tell you, spawning in the Wastelands is one of the biggest mistakes that noobs make, and trust me, you do not want to do it. You will end up dying, and all your stuff will end up just disappearing and despawning, because when you die in the Wastelands, it is very hard to get back to your stuff, seeing as it is just so big and there's so many dangerous dinos there that will kill you. Fighting corrupted dinos. So fighting corrupted dinos, it kind of goes along with spawning in the Wastelands, just because corrupted dinos, they are very hard to kill. Let me tell you, like I said, the corrupted dinos, every single one of them are going to be aggressive and will attack you on spot. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you're wearing, they're going to attack you because they are just super aggressive. So these corrupted dinos, if you try to attack them on foot, let me tell you, it's going to be very hard. Unless you have like flak armor, really good weapons, it's going to be hard to kill these things because they're very aggressive, and everything will attack you, all corrupted dinos, so there will be a lot of them coming at you from all different angles, and it's very hard to kill these things. And even if you have some type of tame, if it's not very strong, it will die very quickly, just because these things, the corrupted dinos, are very strong. Building away from metal spawns. So Ark Survival, it revolves around metal, and metal is the main thing in the game that helps you build up. It gets you to places, it builds you saddles, tools, bases, so many things. You need metal, and if you build a base away from metal spawns at the early game, it's going to be very hard to build up and get really good in the game, because if you don't have metal, you can't build basic things such as the tools, metal tools, a lot of saddles, and even a metal base. So I suggest all of you guys, all you noobs out there, do not make the mistake of building away from metal spawns, because these are very important in the game, and if you don't have metal spawns, let me tell you, you're not going to be successful when trying to start out on Ark Survival. Even if you have a lot of other resources like stone and wood, metal is one of the main ones, so make sure that you're always building up a base around metal spawns. Not being prepared for orbital drops. So orbital drops are very important in Ark Survival, because these things give you a lot of engrams and different tools that you wouldn't have if you didn't unlock them from these orbital drops. So not being prepared for these orbital drops is going to cause you and whatever tames you have, your friends, your allies, to really lose and maybe even die in the process. So when you are being prepared for these orbital drops, you have to make sure that you have really good armor, good tames, everything that you're going to need depending on what tier of orbital drop that you're going after. So if you're going after the highest one, which I believe is purple, you're going to want to make sure that you have like really good tames there to survive a lot of rounds of these dinos coming in and trying to destroy the orbital drop, so that you can survive and you can get all the loot. Because if you're not prepared, you will lose, and you will lose all of that good loot that you've saved up throughout the rounds. So I do suggest when you're going after these orbital drops, make sure you're prepared and do not be a noob and just make that mistake. Building in the Wastelands. This is another really big mistake that I see a lot of Ark players making. So when you're building in the Wastelands, I already mentioned earlier in the video that corrupted dinos, they can break every single structure including tech, and hopefully that gets nerfed, but in the meantime, do not build in the Wastelands, guys. Anyone can lure one of these tames over to your base, or maybe they'll just aggro on your base, and it will destroy your base so quickly. So if you are going to build a base, I recommend building it on high lands, somewhere where corrupted dino can't just come over and destroy your base, because that's a huge mistake I see a lot of players making, even on official. They're building bases in the Wastelands. Don't do it. Trying to tame corrupted dinos. This is a mistake I see a lot of noobs making out there. You're trying to tame these purplish LED dinos, but let me tell you, you cannot do it. Just let me tell you flat, No, don't even try. It's not gonna work, guys. So trying to tame these corrupted dinos, it's just not like available in the game at the moment. So these things, if you were able to tame them, they'd be so overpowered because they can destroy tech. So just don't even try to tame them. I see people using trank arrows trying to knock them out. It's not gonna work. Just give up, guys. Trying to go out of the map. So going out of the map is not a good idea because you will fall to your death, go all the way down, and whatever you have on you will be despawned, all your tames will die, so don't even try to explore out of the map. If you see a large cliff, let me tell you, it's there for a reason. It's because the developers don't want you to go past that cliff and fall off the map. So if you look around the map, you can see these red little beams or structures that are kind of indicating where you should stop, or else you're going to start taking a lot of damage and your screen is going to be flashing red. It's really weird, but if you go outside of these little beams, you're not going to be able to see. It's going to be hard to get back in. So I just suggest that you guys don't go outside these beams, or else you're going to probably regret it, and it's a big mistake a lot of people make. Misusing the cryopods. So this is a big mistake I see a lot of YouTubers and other ARK players make. So they're trying to use this cryopod, right? Because you can capture different dinos in it, store them for about 30 days, I believe, and that's the max timer that you have on these cryopods. And pretty much when you don't throw these out, after the 30-day decay period, they will die. They will just despawn in your inventory in the cryopod. So I see a lot of people doing that, as well as they're trying to throw these things out like they're Pokeballs and they just have unlimited uses. Well, guys, there is a 3-minute cooldown timer if you're using a cryopod. So let's say you throw out a trike, it has a cooldown timer for 3 minutes. You can't throw it out again for 3 minutes, or else it'll go unconscious and it will very quickly die. So that is a huge mistake I see a lot of ARK players making. Throwing away element dust. So I know a lot of noobs out there don't really understand the concept of tech tier, how it works, and what you need to build it. But you guys, you know you need element to make this tech tier. And if you're throwing out element dust, even if you're starting out early on, it's a bad idea because element dust, it's not that heavy. You can keep it in your inventory and even craft it into element or elemental shards. So they're very useful, so never throw away element dust. Even if you're getting it from like the lampposts around the city, or you did one of the tech element veins, I forget what they're called, or you just killed a scout and you got some elemental dust or whatever you got from it. Don't throw away anything regarding element because it is very useful and it's kind of rare in the map, so make sure you keep it and store it for later use. Dying with cryopods in your inventory. So if you guys are in a fight or a battle and you want to store your cryopod or your tame in that cryopod very quickly, make sure you store it, but don't die. If you die with that cryopod on you, whatever person or whatever happens to you, that cryopod is going to be in your inventory. Anyone can come up to you, steal that cryopod, and run away. So if you're a noob in ARK Survival, do not make this mistake. If you have your tame in a cryopod, make sure it's in a safe location, or you're very careful and you make sure that you do not die with this cryopod in your inventory, or else you will lose it. And trust me, it's not the best idea, because once you lose this tame, it's gone. All your work to tame that thing is gone, and someone else literally just stole it from you. So make sure that you guys don't make this mistake in ARK Extinction. Going into the red zone. So the red zone is pretty much just a harder version of the Wastelands, which is very sectioned off from the rest of the map, so don't worry, you're not going to accidentally stumble upon it. But the red zone, if you go in there, there are corrupted gigas, corrupted wyverns, so many very fast and dangerous things that will easily kill you and whatever tame you're on. So I really do suggest that you guys do not go into this red zone if you have a weak flyer, a weak tame, anything. Even if you have something really strong, corrupted gigas will kill literally a tamed giga. They are so powerful. Don't go near them. I highly suggest that you just wait it out. If you need to go in there, I mean, just be very quick. Make sure you have something very fast to get in and out of there, because those corrupted wyverns, they're very fast and very powerful and will kill you on the spot just because they're so aggressive and they have a very, very powerful fire breathing thing ability and a very, very strong attack. So just don't go near them. So don't make that mistake, all you noobs out there. trying to start out in the desert. So the desert, just like the wastelands, is a very hard and harsh environment to start out in. But unlike the wastelands, the desert, there aren't any corrupted dinos out there, and there are a lot less lethal dinos out there. So if you're going into the desert, make sure that you guys have a lot of water, but if you do want to start out there, it's probably not the best spot. Just seeing as there's not a lot of water, like I said, not a lot of resources, and it's just like a desert. If you think about a desert in real life, there's not going to be a lot of stuff there. So I really do suggest that you guys don't start out in the desert. It's a really big new mistake I see a lot of people making, but the desert, it's not a good spot to actually start out in. Unless you're like some alpha and you're just trying to make like a base there, or you need a resource there, I really don't suggest you go to the desert. Not worth it, and it's just a waste of your time. Alright guys, so that's pretty much the video. If you related to any of these mistakes or these helped you out and you didn't know something, make sure to leave a like on the video. Comment down below any suggestions or any other mistakes that you guys have made in Ark Extinction already, because I know I missed a lot. These are just some of the big ones. Anyways, I'll see you guys in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.